I'm a big retro gamer, and I spend a lot of my time playing old Nintendo games using the online service. But this recent Nintendo Switch 2 leak is interesting to say the least. Hey everyone, I'm Jordan Mann, and welcome to the Man Cave. I usually don't believe or subscribe to leaks or rumors, but that being said, the latest Switch 2 leak has given me mixed emotions if there's a sliver of truth to this. As well, if this leaked promo video is not real and it was made in someone's bedroom, we can never believe anything ever again. This looks way too legit to be fake. Except for one part though, and I'll get to that later. But either way, let's talk about it a bit. Now for legal reasons, I'm not going to show the video, but I'll show a couple snapshots just so we have some context. Let's start off with the name, the Switch 2. Now I know this is more or less just a fan given name, but if this is actually what it's going to look like, then I think it's very fitting. I mean, it pretty much looks like the Switch now, just with a couple tweaks here and there. Like the Joy-Cons, they look almost identical with a little more rounding to the edges, but they've made the attachments magnetic instead of just like the slide-on clip. I heard somewhere that Nintendo wanted this system to be a healthy mix of all of their systems from the past. Like the Joy-Cons, I think they're modeled after the NES's controller simplicity and the SNES's button configuration. You could say the joystick is from the N64's controller, but really, joysticks have been on controllers since the 2000s, so I guess you could say the D-pad on the left Joy-Con kind of looks like the old C buttons from the N64 controller. And then, of course, you have the motion controls from the old Wii controller and the screen from the Wii U. Although I'm not really sure what the GameCube has involved in this. If anyone has an idea, please let me know. I'd be curious to know. I know I essentially just described the current Switch, but I feel like Nintendo hitting it out of the park with the current Switch, they're nervous to waver away from the Switch too much and have another Wii U fiasco. Also, I could also see Nintendo just using this next 7 or 8 years as a lull period so they can really make something spectacular. So they're just essentially just giving us the Switch Pro we asked for before, and just to keep us happy so that they can have the time to make something legitimately different from the Switch. So that being said, just looking at the Switch 2, I'm excited and underwhelmed at the same time for that exact reason. I can't really imagine what direction they would go in right now. Watch This isn't actually even what the Switch 2 is going to look like. This is just like a misdirection to like completely blow us away. I feel like this would absolutely explode the internet. But looking at this mock-up, I kind of like the colored buttons. I dig them. It's like a callback to the Super Famicom. The 8-inch screen would be very nice. I mean, there's so many handhelds out right now that blow the Switch away in performance and size. I just feel like the Switch has more reliability than anything else that's out right now. So continuing on with the screen, when the Switch OLED came out, I found it to be so incredible. It looked like how it looked like on the TV, playing it in handheld. I just found the original Switch just very washed out and kind of dim looking. It was such a breath of fresh air when the OLED came out. So that being said, now the screen being an LCD, I'm really hoping it's going to look almost as spectacular as the OLED did. I do understand going a little cheaper on the screen so that they can put better internals on the inside and keep the price relatively low for consumers. I heard another YouTuber say that they hoped, if this is what the Switch 2 is going to look like, that the next dock is going to have the screen exposed so that the screen could be used for either a clock or show the weather or something. And seeing this mock-up kind of makes me agree. I would really love that. It really helps it blend into your living room per se. Now, again, I know this is all technically speculation, but I'm very hopeful. Take Xbox and PlayStation, for instance. Their consoles are so large and bulky to make room for cooling and internals. They're very difficult to hide, and they're kind of, I don't want to call them gaudy because they're absolutely dope looking, but to have them blend into your living room is difficult, especially if you're in your 30s like myself and a family man. Your wife's not going to just allow you to keep them out. Now, of course, this is no dig on gamers. Like, I would 100% wish I could just leave all my gaming equipment out and about to show off. But again, someone being in their 30s, I find they're best shown off in a game room. And if you don't have a game room, they're very difficult to hide from the sheer size of them. My point being is the current Switch, it's very small and the dock was very simple. So it was easy, it blended in and it was easily hideable if necessary. But with this new dock, it seems like they want to try to make it appealing so it can actually be a living room piece. It can blend in, it'd be useful other than just having it as a gaming system. I feel like Nintendo is just a giant millennial now. The dock's actually going to be made out of wood and it's going to have nice carvings and LED strips everywhere. It's going to have a built-in diffuser. It's going to be great. I have heard that the Switch in handheld mode is going to be 1080p upgraded from the 720p that we currently have. But it doesn't say anything about it being 4K in docked mode. But in this promo video, again, speculation, technically, I know, but it shows a cooling fan. So I wonder if the dock's going to have a big part in its performance on the TV this time, which I think is an excellent idea because why should it run harder with just its internals when it's in docked mode when the dock could actually have some helpful attributes to it? I mean, with Nintendo games, 4K isn't going to make or break the deal for me. I will, of course, still buy it. Really, my biggest thing is just, it would be nice if it could hold 60 frames, at least. Well, I shouldn't say at least 30. 60 would be great. But I mean, playing games like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity it was hard. There was a lot of lagging. The other thing that appears on here is the smell-o-vision. Now, this screams fake to me. I know it actually is a real product, but I wouldn't see Nintendo ever putting this in their controllers. How do you refill it? Because I'm sure there's some sort of chemical that has to be released, right, to make the smell. But just the way they set it up in this seemed so fake. You know, the smell dots going into some random guy's nose, and then Princess Peach being like, "Ooh, Mario, my armpits are so smelly. Would you like to smell it?" Like, come on. That's where you really lost me. I don't know. It just, yeah, everything else seemed pretty legit, but that's where you lost me. I don't know if you noticed in the games flying by too, they showed a Mario game, a new Mario game, and he's flying out of a toilet. Again, that screams very fake for me. So that's why I really don't think this is real. It just gives me hopeful thoughts and prayers for this to be everything we asked for in a Switch Pro. Because that's essentially what this is going to be. It's going to be a Switch Pro. I really full-heartedly believe that this is just a lull period for Nintendo to really make something spectacular. And they're just essentially giving us what we wanted in the Switch Pro. Another thing too that I can't remember if Nintendo actually stated this or if they just heavily implied it, but it's going to be backwards compatible. I think that's very important because they sold so many games for the Switch. And a lot of people have bought in doubles of things too, just to have them as collectibles. So if they're not playable on the new one, I think that would be detrimental. I remember this one instance where my wife bought me the Mario Edition Wii. I think I've talked about this once before, but she bought it for me and it was like 6 months later, the Wii U was announced. And so they essentially slowly stopped making games for the Wii. And she was so angry. So I was pretty angry too, to be honest, because I didn't think about the time period of when the Wii came out to the Wii U. And but that being said, it's like people are still buying games. There's still games coming out for the Switch. So I think it is important that they make it backwards compatible. I think in this instance, it would be very beneficial. It would also just be absolutely amazing to see Tears of the Kingdom in 4K. I know I said 4K doesn't make or break the deal for me, and it doesn't, but it would be amazing. And lastly, the new kickstand. If that's really what the kickstand is, I'm very happy for it because it looks like it doubles as a handle if you want to carry it around so that we don't have to carry it around holding onto the screen like a savage anymore, getting fingerprints everywhere. So I'd be very excited for that. Well, that's all I got. I really hope Nintendo releases a trailer for the new Switch very soon. I think it's the most anticipated console ever right now, to be honest. Their videos are going out like crazy. I'm not one... I didn't really like making this video based on leaks alone. Like, I like talking about actual facts. But I just wanted to talk about this just to speculate some things, you know, get excited for things that could or couldn't be, who knows. But I really hope a new trailer comes out soon. Maybe we'll talk about it again if you guys want to hear it. But I would also put money on the Switch 2 not being the final name as well. It'll be something else. This video also said that it had a June 3rd release. And I don't think that's very off, because Nintendo did say that they're going to have an announcement before the end of their fiscal year, which is the end of March. So if they do it close to the end of March, then that kind of adds up, to be honest. Well, I sincerely hope you enjoyed this video. I love talking about it. I am so excited for the Switch. I am a huge retro gamer, like I said at the start, but I love the Switch. It's been such an amazing console. I have high hopes for this. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are hopeful for and if you believe anything in this video. I'd really like to hear it. Also, if you could leave a like, really help out my channel grow. On my way to 1 million subs. Got a long way to go, but we can do it together, guys. Well, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you in another video. Cheers.